Hi everyone, welcome to Charlotte's Web of Books. I am Charlotte, and ironically, I'm arachnophobic. I'm here to recap Q1, January, February, March, reading wrapped. Holy shit. Sorry for the swearing. There's going to be swearing on this. I can't not do it. Q1 is finished for the year, 2025. We're done and dusted. So I thought now would be a great opportunity to recap everything that I read in the months of January, February, and March. And I have written it all down in my handy dandy reading journal, which my lovely friend Georgina got for me for my birthday. And it's just such a great way to track all of the books that I've been reading so far. So I thought today I would go through the books that I've read this year. I will tell you, a brief synopsis of them. I'm a big believer in no spoilies if I can help it. So I will do a spoiler-free recap. There is nothing that I will say that you won't find out in like the blurb or the first couple of chapters. Fingers crossed I can remember that much. I will also be giving what I rated it out of 5. My rating system is purely vibes. There's no form of technical thing to it. It is just how a book made me feel. If a book didn't make me feel something, I'm not going to rate it very high. If it made me feel something, like a good something, I'm probably going to rate it quite high. I do have a degree in English literature and creative writing, but does that make me qualified to talk about books? Probably. Does it mean that I'm absolutely obsessed with literary canon created by old white men? No. No, I want that canon in the bin. I want my own canon brought in. Anyone else hear the ice cream van? I could go for some ice cream, actually. Anyway, I figured we would start from the top, my first read of the year, and go from there. I will pop them up here because some of them I don't have physical copies of, because I became an ebook girly. I was strongly against the ebooks. I love physical books. If you can't tell, it's up there. I love physical books, and I always thought I needed a physical book in my hand to be able to read. I wasn't a huge fan of audiobooks. I found the pacing quite hard because if you can't tell, I talk like a mile a minute, and I really need my audiobooks to be that way as well. So I thought I would never get over having a physical book. Turns out I was really wrong. So I will tell you where I got the books from as well. So the first book that I completed this year was How My Neighbour Stole Christmas by Meghan Quinn. It's here. I read it as an ebook. I got it for like $4 off Kobo. Thank God, because I wouldn't ever want anyone to spend any more on that book. If you're unaware, if you can't tell what my rating is going to be, it's quite bloody low. If you're not aware of what How My Neighbour Stole Christmas is, it is a nice little Christmas rom-com, but it is like an adult rom-com about a lovely girl called Story, S-T-O-R-E-E, Story, who throughout her childhood grew up going to Christmas at her great aunt's house in the Christmas town of Kringle, where their whole thing is Christmas every year, like Christmas all year round. And she grew up there. She loved Christmas. Her auntie is super into Christmas, as am I. Like, I've got a little candy cane thing over here and like Christmas wrapping down there. But this girl's family is like way overboard on Christmas. And the story follows Story, who in her adulthood returns to the town when her aunt takes a fall and she has to care for her. And in her aunt's place, she gets put into the annual Kringle competition, which is who can be the most Christmassy in town. And she meets her childhood friend / now turned nemesis, Cole. His name is Cole Black. He is also in the Christmas Kringle competition. You will have to read a bit about, more about that to get why. It's like enemies to lovers. But the whole reason that they are enemies is really stupid. It's the miscommunication trope blown up to 10. And I think in my review on Fable, I put if they just had a conversation, the book wouldn't have needed to have happened. But it was Christmassy, which I do like. It was smutty, which I didn't really enjoy because it wasn't any good. And the premise, I really just wanted to know who won the competition. That was all I was in for. I gave it a 2 stars out of 5. because I liked the premise, but I just think it was really poorly executed. And it was one of those books that kind of blew up on TikTok over Christmas, and I don't think it deserved to. I really don't think it deserved to at all. The next book on my list that I read was The Good Sister by Sally Hepworth. Up here. This one was significantly better. I rated it 5 stars. It was recommended to me by my friend, Joanna, whose taste I will now forever listen to. Wonderful. It follows the story of twins, girls, Rose and Fern. Very cute. And it is a It is a dual POV, told a little bit differently. One of the perspectives is told from Fern in the present tense, and another one is told from Rose through the vice of a journal writing. So it goes through the past events in a journal form. And I really, really enjoyed this book. Fern is clearly from the get-go, you can tell that she is neurodiverse, and just her take on things is phenomenal. I think Sally did a wonderful job of showing the perspective of someone who is neurodiverse. She was just a wonderful character. And the whole idea is that Rose and Fern have been inseparable. They're twins. They grew up so close together. They clearly didn't have a wonderful childhood, and they stuck really close together. And the only thing that Rose wants is a baby. And she's been unable to have a child. And all that Fern wants is for her sister to be happy. And you can get this from the blurb, so it's not a spoiler. Fern takes it upon herself to get her sister a baby. And it's honestly, the story is crazy, but in the best way. I did not expect half of the stuff that came out of that book, and I fell in love with Fern's character. She was just wonderful. It's such a story about sisterhood, the idea of truth and where it comes from, different, the way that the perspectives are used to tell the story and to be reliable and unreliable narrators is just, it's so good. I sped through this book. I read it as a physical book. My Neighbour Stole Christmas I read as an ebook, but this one I read as a physical book, and I tore through it. I absolutely tore through it, and I just wanted all my friends to read it, so that we could chat about it. And it got me into Sally Hepworth, and I've read another Sally Hepworth book which will feature soon, but I just have her on my list. I think she's a phenomenal author, and she just reeled me in, and I'm here to stay. I'm absolutely here to stay. Book number 3 for the year was a little rom-com small town romance from the Dream Harbour series by Laurie Gilmore, and that was The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. This one also went a little bit big on TikTok, so naturally I bought it. I bought it on Kobo, an ebook, and I rated this one 2.5 stars. But honestly, I think that was generous. This follows the story of Jeannie, she comes to Dream Harbour to take over her aunt's cafe, I want to say, the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, because she had a big city job that was just, honestly, corporate life was tearing her down. She was probably going to experience burnout. I think her boss had a heart attack. Anyway, she decided, enough of the corporate girly game. I'm going to be a small town girl. I'm going to run a cafe. It's going to be cute. And in her defense, it was cute. The vibes were there. But she opened her cafe in this little small town where everyone knows everyone in the small town. So naturally, she was the outsider. And she came across Logan, the farmer, one morning when he was dropping off her pumpkins or something for the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. And they hit it off quite well. And it's a cute little friends to strangers to lovers romance. But there's a small little mystery in it. Someone keeps vandalizing her or sabotaging her job at the cafe, and her and Logan try and find out who did it, who's behind it. And the stakes were so low that sometimes I felt nothing was happening. But things were happening. I can't remember what the things were, but things happened. Naturally, I mean, it's not a spoiler. Jeannie and Logan are love. They love. Just really low stakes. There's a little bit of smut in there, which I wasn't expecting from a thing called the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. Well, actually, it's got spice in the title. Maybe I should have expected that, but I didn't. My brain was able to take a little much needed rest at the beginning of the year. I finished that in January. So I just got back into work and everything. So it was quite a nice brain rest. But I was a little bit like unsure when I heard that there was a sequel. Multiple books, actually. There's multiple books in the series. And I was like, oh, I gotta read the rest. But because I'm stupid, I'd already bought the first 3 books on my Kobo without even having read the first one. So I kind of was like, well, you've spent the money, you've got to fucking read it. So I'll push through. But that one was a solid 2.5 stars. So if you are interested in small town romance, you want to read about the falling in love between a farmer and a cafe owner, and you like boring things, Pumpkin Spice Cafe for you. Book 4 for the year. Why am I yelling at you? So sorry. Book 4 for the year was the second book in the Shatter Me series by Tahereh Mafi. My friend Shannon put me on these books, and thank you, Shannon, for this life changer. So I read Shatter Me in 2024, and the sequel, Unravel Me, came next. If you haven't read these books, I would recommend. They're like a YA dystopia, and the best that I can describe it is like a cross between Hunger Games and X-Men, I think. So it's set in a dystopian world where like the environment is being destroyed by us humans, and there are people who have developed these like strange powers, and I'm not too sure where they've come from yet. I'm not that far in, but this was the sequel. So it follows the story of Juliet, who is a girl who her power or her like issue seems to be that people can't touch her. Like if you touch her, you like die, like excruciating and painful. And book 1 followed her story of like she was in an asylum, and she got brought out of the asylum to kind of be used as like a weapon for the resistance. No, the rebellion, the re-establishment. That's what it's called. She got a weapon for the re-establishment, which is like the bad guys. And she meets Adam, who seems to be the only person who can touch her without experiencing pain, which is crazy. And all this stuff happens. And then I read Unravel Me, which is the sequel to that. And I don't want to give too much away because spoilies, but there are some characters in there who in Shatter Me I thought were bad guys. My new favorite in Unravel Me. I gave Unravel Me apparently a 3.5 stars. I did like it. I thought it was really good. I didn't rate it as high as Shatter Me, which I rated. No, I did. I rated the exact same, 3.5. It was good. I liked the vibe. I just thought it could improve a little bit. And I think the reason I rated it so low in like the 3.5 was because I really enjoyed it. But at the end of the day, it was YA, and you could really tell that even though there's like serious shit going on, the main focus is on this like teenage relationship. And so it's very much like, I like you. Should we like hold hands? Oh my God, you can hold my hand. It was like very, yeah, I don't know. It's like there's an actual war going on, people. Let's not focus too hard on whether or not he likes you, because you might be dead tomorrow. But I get it. Like, it's for YA. It's not for me. I'm 28 years old. So I really enjoyed it. 3.5. If you are interested in a series that is like follows a boss ass, that follows like a boss ass bitch. Juliet is a boss ass bitch. I would recommend reading it. I would recommend. Book 5 for the year, which I think was also the last book that I read in January. It was the last book. Fucking destroyed me. This book it altered my brain chemistry in the worst way. And this book is One Day by David Nicholls. And yes, it is that Netflix show that's destroyed everyone's hearts. I'm so sorry, I have to get a tissue. I'm crying again. Anyway, One Day, it is the Netflix show that got big in like 2024. I want to say it's 2024. It was an Anne Hathaway movie back in like 2005 or something. Or 2000, I don't know. I didn't do the research. Oh, God, it's soul destroying. It is one that's like a multiple POV, and it follows the story of Emma and Dexter through, they meet at university in Scotland, and then it kind of follows the story of their lives as they progress through the decades together, apart. I read this on a book, an ebook, which is great because I could take it everywhere with me. I took it to work. I read it on the train when we'd stopped, because I get a little bit motion sickness. But I read it at all my stops. I was really hooked on this book, and it destroyed my soul. It has some of the most amazing quotes. Actually, I might get I'm gonna get the ebook. I'm gonna get the e-reader and read my quotes. Okay, so I highlighted some lovely quotes in this book that I thought were just great. One of them is, sometimes when it's going badly, she wonders if what she believes to be a love of the written word is really just a fetish for stationery. Same girl. I have so much stationery. And then there's a quote here. Change lives through art, maybe. Cherish your friends. Stay true to your principles. Live passionately and fully and well. Experience new things. Love and be loved if you ever get the chance. It's beautiful. It's honestly beautiful. And there's a line in this that I really want to share, but it might be a spoiler. No, fuck it. I'm not going to share it. Anyway, there's just a beautiful line. There's a beautiful line near the end of the book, and it destroyed my soul. So it destroyed me. This book, I can't stop thinking about it. And I keep seeing all these TikTok like compilations of the show. The show is beautiful as well. The lady who plays Emma, stunning. The man who plays Dexter, is great. Phenomenal. And that was shocking to no one. A 5-star read. If you want your heart destroyed, read this book. If you just want to read a novel that spans the different decades in the UK between like male and female relationships, friends, I would just recommend reading this book. It really it makes you understand that there is one life that we have to live, and we should probably live it to the fullest, and that we should tell the people that we love them. There is nothing worse than waiting too long to have the thing that you want, and to spend time with the people that you love. Do it now. We only get, as far as I'm aware, one go around the sun. So yeah, you should really cherish what you have while you have it, and that's what I took from this book. So a little recap: I read 5 books in January. 2 of those were 5-star ratings. 2 of them were shit, and 1 was incredibly average. So all over, I think that's a pretty good start to the year. I think I did well. I was shocked because I'm not someone who I thought would like last year, the year before. I only read 5 books in the whole year. So to have read 5 in the 1 month was pretty phenomenal for me. But I think this little beautiful e-reader really did help me with that. It's just so easy to take things, like take it with you everywhere. So if you can afford it, get one. If not, borrow your friends, steal them. Okay, diving into February, we started off with a solid 3 stars, which now that I think about it, it probably should have been lower. This was Fracture Me by Tahereh Mafi, which is it's a novella. So it was only 68 pages, which I loved. It was very easy to get through. And it's in this part of the Shatter Me series. And it was from the point of view of the first male love interest, I suppose. Boring boy. Boring man is all I can say. Boring. He bored me. He bored me. Thank God it was only 68 pages because I didn't really care much. So I don't know why I gave it 3 stars. I think because it was okay. It was average. I feel like I should drop it to 2.5. But it was significantly better than How My Neighbour Stole Christmas. I don't have much to say about it. without spoiling anything. So I read that. The next book that I read in February has completely and utterly fucked up my life. And I might get hate for giving this book 5 stars, because is it a literary genius? No. No, it's not. Is it life-changing for me? Yes. Yes, it is. Should everyone read it? Probably not. Do I want you to? Yeah. 100%. This book changed me, and it brought back a love for reading, which I love reading, but this brought back like a passion for reading and sharing ideas and like conspiracies and like falling down deep dark holes of thoughts in my brain about characters and things that I have not had since the HP Harry Potter series when I was a youth. Yeah. And for a long time, like I fell into that was an obsession when I was a young girl. I loved it. Loved Harry Potter. Sad now that the authors are a bit of a not job, but this book series effed me up, and this is Fourth Wing. If you Fourth Wing, you know what Fourth Wing is. If you don't know what Fourth Wing is, it is a book by Rebecca Yarros, and it is a romantasy, so a romance fantasy novel, I believe. That is the genre. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I read it on ebook, but it follows the story of a young woman named Violet Sorrengail as she is conscribed to the War College of Basgiath, I believe it's called, to become a dragon rider. It's a war college, so it's scary. Like, people die all the time there. And they're like, basically her country is fighting in a war against these things called like the Griffins and the Flyers, the people who ride the Griffins. And she goes to this college in order to become a rider, to get a dragon and to be in the army. Like, that's the armed forces. Her family has done this. I mean, her dad, this is not a spoiler because it's in the first couple of pages, her dad has passed away. Her mum is the like commanding general, no, the commander, the general, she's high up in the chain, commander of the war college. Anyway, Lilith Sorrengail, and she puts her daughter in. Her daughter Violet goes in. She was supposed to be a scribe, so she's a nerdy little biatch who was never meant for the gym, but was forced anyway. And her whole family before her, like her brother and sister, were in the college, got through, they're riders, they have dragons, it's the whole thing. It was just such a good, from the get-go, it got me. So the quote that really got me hooked, which is on like page 1, or page 2, is, "This is what 6 months of intense physical training has given me. The ability to barely climb 6 flights of stairs with a 30-pound pack." Me! It's me! There's just some great stuff in here that, like, you are not attracted to toxic men, I remind myself, and yet here I am, getting all attracted. I just really loved the characterization in the book. I loved the premise. I'm not a huge fantasy girl, but I think I might be now. I love dragons, and it was great. And it was high stakes because at any second she could die. And like, I know she's the main character, so she probably won't die, but she could die at any second. And also the enemies to lovers romance that's in this, like, spoiler, not spoiler, Xaden Ryerson. What a man. What a man in the... What a man. It's embarrassing. What a man in Xaden Ryerson. Jesus Christ. The bookmen just hit a bit different. He hits different. I can't stop thinking about this book. It's honestly ridiculous. So I read Fourth Wing. If you're into fantasy and you want to read about dragons and a war college and, you know, found family, enemies to lovers, shadow daddies, badass bitches, this book is the one for you, Fourth Wing. I also read in the month of February the book 2 and 3, which was Iron Flame and Onyx Storm. They're the only ones that are out currently. I read them both. I flew through. But I only rated those 2 4 stars because the first book, Fourth Wing, I thought it did a really good job of setting up the world, but in an interesting way. Like, it had Violet as a way to like calm herself down, like a coping mechanism was to recite things that she has learnt. Like, she was going to be a scribe, which is like the recorder of history. That was her thing. She's going to be in the scribe. She was going to be in the scribe quadrant. She's going to be in the scribe quadrant. She was going to be in the scribe quadrant. And they're like the writers of history. And so she remembers all this stuff and like recites it in her head. And as a way to calm down in these terrifying, life-threatening situations, she would recite that to herself. And it's wonderful because then we as the reader get to learn things about the history of the world and the place that she's in through this medium. It's not just like smacked in the face, like, this is this, and this is this, and this is why this has been this years old, and this is who this does this. It was very good. I really liked that. But I think book 2 and book 3 didn't... Can we all take a moment just to see my dexterity? Book 2 and 3 didn't do that. They really just hammered home the exposition and the lore, and I just got a smack across the face with it, and it was a lot. I got lost in the sauce. I loved the relationships between all the characters, so that is why I gave both of them a 4-star rating. And I'm so excited for the next one. And there might be a TV series, and I am absolutely hooked on who should play who in the TV series. And if you want my opinions, I'll tell you them freely. The next book that I read in February was Ignite Me, which was the fourth book in the Shadow Me series, and I rated that a 3.5 out of 5. I really liked it. I did enjoy it a lot. I can't really explain much about the plot because spoilers for the first few books, but I loved the characters. I love that we're building more on the characters, more about the world. I did enjoy it a lot. I thought that, again, the reason for the 3.5 and not a bit higher was because of the YA, like, they're trying to make it so it's like the author tries to make it really serious, that they're in like a war zone, a whole thing, but it just misses a little bit with how youthful and how like unproblematic the conversation seems to be. It doesn't really fit the context. But apart from that, I really, really enjoyed it. I ended the month with a solid 2-star book, The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, which is the sequel, to the Dream Harbour series, the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. This was the next book, which does not follow the same couple, doesn't follow Jeannie and Logan. It follows Hazel and Noah. So Hazel is, if you remember Logan from the first book, it's his child. No, it's not. It's not his child. It's one of his friends, Hazel. She owns the bookstore. No, she doesn't. She runs the bookstore, and she has a slight thing for Noah the fisherman, and it's like, it's their little romance is what this book is. It kind of, there's like a cute little low stakes, what's it called? You go out and you find things and people leave you. A scavenger hunt. A scavenger hunt. It's a scavenger hunt. Noah and Hazel go on a scavenger hunt for books. It's like a romance thing. Look, I don't know. I read it and then I skipped some because it hurt me to read it. So I skipped a little. I just got to stop with the pen. I got to stop. I read it. Obviously I read it. I'm fading out. I wouldn't recommend it. If you have better things to do with your time, I would skip it, in all honesty. Brutal, maybe? I'm not sure. I like to be nice, but no. So I began the month of March reading City of Gods and Monsters by Kayla Edwards, which was a recommendation by my friend Shannon, who recommended the Shadow Me series to me. I must admit, City of Gods and Monsters confused me. It is an urban fantasy, so a fantasy set in urban area. Almost self-explanatory at that point. So it's got like modern day technology, they've got Instagram and all that shit, but it's like vampires and werewolves and these things called hellsayers, which are like devil fiend people, kind of bounty hunter things. Shannon, please help. Where are you, girl? Anyway, it follows the story of Loren, who is a human. She's a human. Oh, witches! They've got witches! There's vampires and werewolves and hellsayers and witches and human. There's a human in there, Loren. She's a human. And demons! They've got demons! There's everything under the sun in this book. And so it follows Loren, who is a human in the city of Angelthine, and she was adopted as a youth. She doesn't know who, she's an orphan, she doesn't know who her parents are, and she's young, she's like 19 or whatever, and there's a bounty placed on her head. People want her for some reason. She doesn't know why. She doesn't have magical powers. She's just a normal human, but there's a bounty placed on her head. And the man who's like a bounty hunter, a hellsayer called Darien Castle is the guy who accepts the bounty and ends up like being her kind of bodyguard because she's so fucking weak. And he's like, oh no, I can't hurt a human. I'll have to be her bodyguard. And it's like a bodyguard to lovers kind of book. It's very like the mafia vibes are there. The like drug lord gang stuff is quite prominent, and there was just a lot of exposition and a lot of world building that had to happen that it fried my brain. I couldn't understand some of it. Loren pissed me off because her character in my mind was just boring. She bored me. She really bored me. Darien was amazing. I loved him as a character. He was very cool. He has like a tragic backstory, which was cool to learn about. He's like a dark, brooding, tattooed guy, and it was great. I really liked Darien. I think he could do better than Loren. The more I got into it, the more I liked it. I gave it a 3 stars out of 5 because at the end it did have a good ending. And I really enjoyed the side characters. I loved learning about Darien's gang, like who's in his gang. I really liked Loren's friends. I thought they were interesting. It's just Loren bored me. Fucking bored me. Sorry, Loren. But then I've started reading the sequel, and she's much better. So she's got a bit of personality now, whereas before she just didn't, and pissed me off. But that was a book that my friend had read before, so it was really nice, like, sharing my opinions with her. So, yeah. That's City of Gods and Monsters. If you're into urban fantasy, give it a go. If you're not, okay, don't. Okay, the next book in the Shadow Me series that I read was Restore Me by Tahereh Mafi. And I gave that one a 3.75. It's really inching close to the 4 stars, but I couldn't quite give it up. It was really good, that one. It's like book 4 or 5, I think it's book 5 in the series. Really good. We're getting more serious now that the kids are getting older. We're introducing more characters from the background that weren't there before, and they're coming in, and the world is expanding, and it's really good. I love that with each book we kind of grow, like get out more outward from the center, and we learn more, and it's not shoved in your face, or it's not shoved down your throat, and I really liked that. Restore Me, very good. If you're reading the Shadow Me series and you're like, should I keep reading? Yes. Restore Me, beautiful. It is also a split POV, which kind of wasn't done for the other books. So we follow Juliet, and then we follow Aaron Warner, who is like the bad guy. So there's like a nice little flip, which I really enjoyed that. I thought that was, I think I'm in need of coffee. I'm like really losing my mind a little bit. We have 2 more books to go for March. The first one, The Younger Wife, which is a Sally Hepworth book. No, yes, it is. Why have I written Hepburn? Sally Hepworth. It's a Sally Hepworth book, also recommended to me by my friend Joanna, The Younger Wife. The Younger Wife follows the story of, it's again, split point of view, which I love. Split point of view. I love that especially if it's first person, which this one wasn't, it was third, but anyway, I love a point of view split because you can understand straight away that the narrator is not reliable, and I love an unreliable narrator. It's just, I love it. So this follows the story of Tully and Rachel, who are sisters in their late 20s, early 30s, I believe, and their mum has Alzheimer's and their dad is getting remarried. And it kicks off at the dad's wedding, and he is marrying a woman called Heather, who happens to be the same age, if not like a year or two younger than Tully and Rachel. So dad is marrying a younger woman, hence the title The Younger Wife. And it's told from the point of view of Tully and Rachel and Heather. And it goes through like Heather meeting the sisters, and it kind of, goes through the different points of view of that. Like the characters in this book feel like real people. Sally Hepworth can write people like I've never seen. Like Tully and Rachel are sisters, but they are unbelievably different, and it's perfect how they are written. They gave me anxiety. They made me barrack for them. They made me barrack against them. They're polar opposites, and they're written so believably well. They are like so well rounded. And I genuinely cared about what happened to them in these books. I was like, I feel like I know these people. Same for Heather. She was written so incredibly well. So if you would like a story about like a dysfunctional but trying to be functional family, drama, like suburban drama, because who doesn't love suburban drama? There is nothing that, well, I do, there are things that I love more, but there's nothing that I love more than my friends when they message me and they're like, so my neighbor did this today, or like, here's the tea of the street. Obsessed. And this is kind of like that. Like if you want drama, you want to read about family drama in the street, The Younger Wife is definitely a way to go. It's really good. Oh, I completely forgot. The pivotal part is that he is remarrying whilst his wife with Alzheimer's is still alive. Like she's not dead. She just can't remember him. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm just remarrying. Mama's still around. It's like a whole dramatic, and someone's injured at the wedding. I forgot about that bit. That's the first chapter. Someone gets injured at the wedding. You don't know who it is. It's like severely injured. And it doesn't, you find out as the book goes on what happened, but woo! It's a whirlwind, and I would highly recommend reading it. The last book for March that I read, wait! I forgot to say, The Younger Wife, I gave that a 5 stars out of 5. Did I say that? I can't remember. Okay. The last book that I read in March. Mum, stop watching if you're watching. It's time to stop. Turn it off. Shannon, we need to talk. We need to go to therapy together and discuss this book. Anyone else that I've recommended this book to? Call me. We need to discuss it. I listened to this book via audiobook, and it was one of the best decisions ever. The voice actors that were phenomenal, like absolutely phenomenal. This was a dark romance book called Lights Out by Navessa Allen. It's quite big on TikTok at the moment, and I didn't really know what to expect. It was a recommendation by my friend Shannon, who I've learnt has wonderful taste, but needs therapy. The voice actors were phenomenal, and the chapters again were split point of view, female main character, male main character. And what I hate more than anything in this world is when an audiobook is done with the split male character, female character chapters. And in the chapters, like if we are focusing on the female character and the voice actor is doing the female character, she'll also do the voice of the male. And it's vice versa for the male. There is nothing worse and nothing more hilarious to me than a man trying to do the female voice and make it serious. It doesn't work. This book had the duo cast. So if we are in the female's point of view, who in this case, her name is Ali. So if we're in Ali's point of view and she's speaking to the male main character, who is Josh, the voice actor of Josh would speak to her. And he would do all the men's voice and she would do all the female voices. And it just worked so well. And I think the audiobook, it really made the experience for me so good. It's on Spotify for free. You can get it if you have a premium Spotify account. I like to listen to my audiobooks when I'm cleaning my house. It just gets me to do the job. And I had to take pause and message my friend and be like, are we good? Are we okay? Because the trigger warnings came up, and one of them was accidental cannibalism. And I was like, okay, I got to check in on this girl, make sure she's doing okay. She's doing fine. She's completely fine. I am too. The trigger warnings, they're there for a reason. If you read them and you think it's not for you, please put the book down. I'm a psycho and was like on board. It wasn't so much of a trigger warning list as like a menu. So I was like, oh, let's dibble dabble in here. I'll read anything. I like to see what's going on. If I get grossed out, I'll just put the book down. Simple. In this case, I had to listen to it. So that was a bit awkward. But I digress. This book follows the story of Ali, who is a trauma nurse in America, somewhere, can't remember where. She has a very hectic job. She works in the emergency department as a trauma nurse. She's constantly around horrible things, people with gunshot wounds, stabbings, victims of SA, loads of stuff. And to unwind, she likes to watch masked men on TikTok filming thirst traps. That's a thing. I didn't know it existed. Now I do. Didn't know it existed before, really. And so she likes to do that, watch the thing. And the thing is, like, you can't tell who the men are because they're in masks. And she likes to watch that. And she likes to watch a particular man who's called like the Faceless Man or something. And she likes him, and she like messages on his TikTok all the time, or comments, like, things. And that's just it. And the Faceless Man turns out to be Josh, who is the other point of view. And he becomes aware of Ali's presence and the comments that she leaves, and ends up like breaking into her house to film one of his videos, and takes her a while to notice that he's done that. And I'm like, girl, same. If someone could break into my house and move stuff, and it would take me a really long time to realize. So that's what happens. And it's kind of their story, like how they progress through fun times together. But it is a dark romance. Like his background is weird. Well, no, that's rude. Sorry. His background is, he's got some trauma in there. She's got some trauma in there. There is big mafia vibes in this book as well. There is death. There is like gore, violence. There's very strong sexual themes, I should specify. I tried to listen to this book on the train, had to stop because I was terrified my headphones were going to come out and people were going to hear what was going on. That was not okay. But I really, really liked the voice actors. They really made it, particularly the male. I've completely forgotten his name. Completely. But they just made it what it was. So if you are into dark romance and you want like a little slight stalker story, TikTok story, dark themes, you're happy with a lot of spicy stuff, I would recommend Lights Out by Navessa Allen. I gave it 5 stars. I gave it 5 stars. I loved it. I genuinely loved it. And I didn't think I would. I didn't think I was that kind of person. I really didn't. Loved it. Loved it. Mum, don't read it. Don't read it. I'm serious. Don't read it. Anyone else? Read it and speak to me. It's good. I think. I gave it 5 stars, so obviously I think it's good. That is my quarter 1 reading done. My reading wrapped. I read, I think it's 15 books in the first quarter. My goal for the year is 25 for 25. I think we're going to smash it out. It seems to think I will have that cracked by May, but I'm going to keep going. Thank you for spending time with me today, listening to my book list. I would recommend the books that I rated quite high. The ones that I rated quite low, if you want to try them, but I wouldn't waste your time, really, quite honestly. If we have similar tastes, which we might, that might be why you're here. I would skip them. Thanks for spending time with me, and keep yourself well, and I will see you in the next quarter. Bye.